to a bowl game, and the transfer portal is heating up. Let's talk about it tonight on this episode of the Uptempo Podcast.
You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up? What is up, Uptempo family? It's Blake and Dustin. We're here tonight. It's the live edition. Look, my boy Dustin had his surgery today. So happy he made it. I've been under the weather. Woke up this morning, just felt like absolute death. So, but one thing we told our following and our fans and everything is we're not gonna sit one out on you. You know,
we show up, baby.
Yeah, we show up. Rain, shine, sleet, or snow. We're here, and we're here to talk about some Auburn football.
Yeah,
and I know Saturday, Dustin, I know it hurt and it stings, and it's really difficult to get over, right? But I feel like we're gonna get there, brother. I do. I feel like we're gonna move past this, and there's a lot of bright things ahead of us. But before we get in here tonight, brother, like I said, you had surgery today. How are you feeling? Man, like I said, man, I appreciate you for being here.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, man, we play hurt. It ain't nothing but a thing. That Mamba mentality, right? Yeah, bro. I'm good, man. Appreciate everybody reaching out and showing me love today. They put like a nerve blocker in there. Mm-hmm. So I can't even feel my left arm. Like if I go to squeeze my hand, I literally can't do it. So that was supposed to wear off tomorrow, and then the pain will set in. So I don't know. Drugged up, feeling good, ready to talk some Auburn football.
Oh, love it, Dustin. Love it, Dustin. And look, man, tough loss in the Iron Bowl. Our head coach, he takes time out of his day Monday morning, and he schedules a press conference. And he basically wanted to tell the fans a little bit of what was on his mind, right?
Yeah.
Dustin, it kind of hit home with me because I said, hey, this is a guy that gets it, man. This is a guy that he understands the job, the task at hand. He gets the Auburn fan base. He knows what we've went through. And he knows what this place can be, Dustin. And for him to take the time out of his day where it wasn't a scheduled press conference, and he opened up to us and told us, hey, those kids are heartbroken. They're heartbroken from what happened Saturday night, but we're going to get past it. How did you feel about Hugh Freeze making that press conference? And we got a couple of clips. We'll play them here in a minute from that presser. But, man, just your overall thoughts on Hugh setting that up and making it happen.
Yeah, it's awesome because like you said, he just gets it right. And he kind of knows, like, okay, we'll meet again. We'll reconvene for a bowl game presser at some point. But if I don't address the way that Iron Bowl ended, that's all you're going to be asking me in the bowl game presser, right? So let's go ahead. You know, it was in a game like that, you know, go ahead and address the fan base. He knew that everybody had a ton of questions. Actually talked to our guy Mike G yesterday on the phone. He told me about Hugh pulling him off to the side and explaining to him kind of what happened on that final play, like diagrammed for it. So that kind of told me, like you mentioned, him getting it, and also like he wants people to understand, and he cares about the message that gets out there, and he knows that the Auburn family is hurting, and he at least wanted to acknowledge that. Because I mean, how many head coaches, Blake, are gonna agree to a press conference that's not scared, like they don't have to? I mean, our last one certainly didn't give a damn about how we felt or what we thought. So it's refreshing, man. And you know, whether he'll be successful or not at Auburn is to be determined. You know, me and you think that he will, but one thing that you can't say is that that the man doesn't care and he's not trying. He's working hard and he does care.
That's where I'm at, Dustin. Is it just showed that he understands, man, and he's a guy he's going to work hard. He's going to build something, and you look at Ole Miss right now. Like, he really put Ole Miss on the map, and they can say what they want over there, but Hugh laid that foundation. And I honestly think that he can get back he can bring Auburn back to what we once were. And we saw that Saturday, man. Look, guys, I'm gonna pull something up for you real quick. One of my favorite players, real quick. One of my favorite Auburn players of all time. Yesterday, I'm still down in the dumps about the Iron Bowl, Dustin. But guess what? I had to send something out to a player because when I saw Hugh do the presser, I said, man, they get it. Like, the whole team bought into showing up Saturday. The whole team, they gave it everything they had for Hugh. They could have given up after New Mexico State. A lot of us thought they would. Like, I mean, I thought I picked us to get blown out. Like, I thought Alabama was clicking, you know? Yeah. And I come to myself and I messaged Jalen Simpson. And I said, hey, bro, I just wanted to tell you that what you did for Auburn football will never be forgotten. We will look back in 10 years from now and know that 36 put down the foundation to bring back Auburn football to where it used to be. I hate that we couldn't get it done the other night because I know you boys wanted it like your life depended on it, but we're going to be okay. We are forever grateful for you, Simp. Thank you, bro, for everything you've done for our program. He messaged me back, and he said, I honestly did my best. Man, that dude right there is he is Auburn, Dustin. Mm-hmm. He is Auburn, man. And I know we went 6-6, but I look at Hugh Freeze and how he got these guys to rally around him and give that one last effort. It means a lot to the fan base, and for him to step out yesterday morning and do that, you know, it just shows that the kids that he's recruiting, that's got to send a message as well, Dustin. Those high school kids, they look at him and they're like, man, like you said, he didn't have to do that. He just took one of the most heart-wrenching losses of his career, and he wanted to give an explanation. I think even though we look at it and say we're 6-6, we lost to New Mexico State, we're going to a bowl game, Dustin, and I think we got to be proud of that. But we're bringing in on the edge of a top 10 recruiting class, Dustin. Like, we got to be proud. We got to buckle the seatbelt one more time, Dustin, and we got to go back to work during bowl prep and this bowl game. And let's get a dub, man. Let's get a dub, Dustin. I mean, how do you feel about the preparation up to the bowl game? Because that's the first clip I'm going to play is Hugh kind of talking about that.
Yeah. First, when you talk about like guys being balled in and still coming out after the New Mexico State game and showing effort, and then you talk about recruits, boy, like Perry Thompson's balled in.
Yep. Walker
White's balled in, right? Like the guys that are on board, they've bought into the message. They get it. They know what Hugh's trying to do. And it's funny. It's really funny to watch kind of some of the reaction, like when we lose a game. Okay, now this guy's not coming. Oh, Cam Coleman's not coming now. We lost to New Mexico State. Like, Hugh never told Cam Coleman we were going 9-3. That's not the message that's being sold. And I know Cam's not committed yet, but I'm just saying, like, the guys that are committed are completely bought in. And then the guys that aren't are hearing the message. They understand it, and it's appeasing to them. And what other message do you have to sell if you are Hugh, right? Like, your two rivals are running college football, so you got to sell something. And I think he's packaged it nicely. Worked well with what he had worked well what he had in front of him. As far as the bowl prep, yeah, dude, young guys, reps, and it'll be it'll be fun to see how many guys we have left. You know, that's I don't like the way that college football is set up right now to where bowl games kind of feel like this whole thing after the season. It still goes on your record. They're still keeping score. I think it should mean something. So like the names that have hit the portal for us so far and the names that I've heard that haven't announced yet are nothing that we can't live without. I just worry about the depth going in there a little bit, but you've got these extra practices. So it's time to find out what, I mean, like in the clip you're about to play, like we're losing some guys most likely in that defensive backfield. Let's see what they got, man. And they're all talented, right? We got a bunch of young talented cats. And then guys like Zach Etheridge, coaching staff. Let's give him the necessary money that he needs to stay in Auburn. So
yeah,
a lot of recruiting going on right now, like keeping your own guys type thing, right?
Yep, I agree 100%, Dustin. Let's play that clip because I think what Hugh says here is very crucial to next year and the position group that he points out. So if you haven't listened to the presser from yesterday from Hugh Freeze, here's one clip that me and Dustin really, really liked.
I'm not one that grinds them during bowl. I'm really not. I want them to enjoy the journey and the process. Try to get our young kids a lot of work. Hopefully get them in the game some, particularly those DBs. We need to get those young DBs a lot of reps in those games. We think they have a chance to be really good players. The T. Scotts and Ken Lees and Terrence Loves and Sylvester Smiths and that group of kids that and J.C. Hart. We all think they have a chance to, and they're going to have to play next year. So we need to see them, and but we'll see. I'm going to sit down today. That's one of the things on my list, and just make a hypothetical practice schedule based on the bowls that I think we could end up going to. So I have that ready.
Dustin, what did you think about that?
First off, I'm a little concerned we're not hearing J.D. Rim's name, but we'll see how that situation plays out. That's definitely a guy that I was looking at coming into this upcoming season. Like, this is the time that J.D. is going to step up and shine. But look, if that situation doesn't work out, there's tons of guys there. Hugh named him. I'm really excited for a guy like Sylvester Smith. Terrence Love was a big-time recruit, a guy that stayed committed to Auburn for a long time, like a guy that like a Jalen Simpson, a guy that you can look at and say, this guy like loves Auburn. He wants to be at Auburn. He was committed across multiple coaching staffs, if I'm not mistaken, and really been locked into Auburn for a long time, kind of like Amon Lane, right?
Yep.
In the current class this year, is about Auburn. So there's a lot of young cats in there. I want to see them play, man. I want to see how they perform. This will be really exciting. And then I know it wasn't in the clip right there, but speaking your language here on that offensive side of the ball, there's no reason why Caleb Burton shouldn't be getting 50 balls, or not 50, excuse me, but 5-10 balls, 50 balls during the week, right?
Yeah.
Feed him. So
yeah,
it's we got a lot of young guys in there, and this is something too, right? Like, when we talk about this being a build, Blake, I'm already looking at this roster next year, and I'm saying, man, this is going to be a young roster. There's going to be some growing pains. It's next year might not be the 10-2 or whatever. There's going to be some growing pains still. This program still has a lot of building to do, but it was crucial for us to find the 6 wins, man, and get these extra practices. And I did want to touch a comment, Blake, and get here to some of these comments that I got. Where's we got? Our guy Brad. Brad says, last bowl game prediction I saw was us playing Oklahoma State. I gotta say something about this, bro, because I looked at this today too when I was just sitting there in the hospital. Why in the hell is a 6-6 Auburn team? We got no business playing 9-3 Oklahoma State. You hear me? Got no business. But maybe we have to call South Alabama's coach and figure out what in the world he did, because them Jags put it on him.
Yeah, they're playing in their conference championship game, bro.
And you're trying to play 6-6 Auburn team that's lost 2 games in a row and got smoked by New Mexico State. This one's terrible. I like the Northwestern matchup. I like the Georgia Tech matchup I've seen. I got no problem with the Wisconsin one. And I think I saw one with Houston. But this one right here, I have a big problem with this one because it doesn't make any sense.
They did that to Oklahoma last year. Oklahoma went 6-6, and they put them up against Florida State in the bowl game, and Florida State was 9-3. And I'm like, dude, I mean, Oklahoma gave Florida State a game and everything, but I'm like, why? Like, Oklahoma's not – why? Like, I just didn't understand it. I guess money,
Remember when we played Baker in the Sugar Bowl, and we were like 8-4? I'm like, we got no business being in the Sugar Bowl. We're going to get routed. And we got routed. I know Houston was Houston, but they were 11-2, and we were 6-6.
Tank Dell sure is tearing it up in the NFL, by the way.
Our guy Charles Blake, he says that he became a member. Appreciate you, Charles. Yeah, appreciate you, buddy. And Charles has been rocking with us for a minute. Good evening, Charles. James saying, what's up? Hey, thank you, James. Appreciate you. Yeah, man, they had to go in there and get a bunch of bone chips out of my elbow. It's been a fun year for me. Samuel Sniper says, how do you guys feel about the smoke with TC potentially coming back on the Plains? I just want him to unblock me on Twitter. I don't know what I did.
Let me be honest with you.
That ain't happening.
I want him back, man. I want him back. Look, I'm a Mobile guy. All right. Everybody knows I want everything with Mobile up at Auburn, and the guy's in Auburn great. He's got a legacy there, man. Amend things, like iron things out. Do what you got to do. Maybe whatever happens in the past, get it right. Get that son of a gun back to Auburn because he can recruit, and he's going to bring elite talent. And he's one of our greatest players in history. All right. He's one of our best quarterbacks we've ever had. Get him back to the Plains, work whatever you got to do out, and let's make it happen, Dustin.
Jackson Hall says Oklahoma State would not be a fair draw. And then Jackson, like I bet a lot of people, Blake does not agree with you on Damian Craig returning.
I get it. I get it.
It's a toxic, right? My thing would be, it turned toxic because obviously, like, you have toxic relationships. How many people from that situation, those situations, are even still around? But then the question also is, are you just a toxic personality?
Could be it.
And I don't know the guy, so I can't make a claim one way or the other. I hear stories, but until I meet somebody personally, I'm not gonna sit there and make that claim.
Dustin, one thing about that is I put that on Twitter like back in 2020, was like, hey, like, what about DC? And I'm not going to say who like DM'd me. I'm not going to throw this person's name out there. But he was like, will never happen. And I was just like, all righty then. Like, and like, I wasn't even like, this podcast wasn't even a thing.
Right.
So like, he didn't even know who I was, and like, so I'm not going to, it could happen. And like I said, I'm a Mobile guy. DC's a Mobile guy. If it did happen, man, the way he recruits and everything, I would love it. And he was let go from A&M today. Mike Elko chose not to retain him as the wide receivers coach at A&M. So, hey, who knows, man? Who knows?
What do you think about this one? Brian asked, can we get a rematch of New Mexico State and Birmingham? Is this a thing?
I don't think it's going to happen.
I hope not. I'll answer your question, Brian. I don't want it.
Man,
I don't want that.
I kind of want that get back. I would kind of want that get back. And then if we got smoked, then it would.
Okay, well, you can take your ass into Birmingham this time. I represented us last time, so you can go up there this time and you can deal with it. All right, let's see what else we got here. What's the Music City Bowl? Who was it? I saw, maybe that's Georgia Tech. I saw us versus Georgia Tech in Nashville. That would be an awesome game. Like, that would probably be my favorite one, obviously because of the old school rivalry, and then both fan bases can get up there, and we know that Auburn fans can take over Nashville for sure.
No doubt. And the old rivalry with Georgia Tech, man, that would be really cool.
That'd be fun
to get that back.
Yeah, I think the last time we played them was what was that, like Cox's freshman year when Calvin Johnson got us, and I think Cox threw like 4 or 5 picks because it was his first start, and we barely gave it away. Am I remembering that right?
That Sungum would come back in battle, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah. And then the year before, we went to Georgia Tech and got beat like week 2, and that's when, I'm starting to remember now. Yep. Oh, no, it was 03. 03, we went to Georgia Tech. We didn't get him in 04, and then we played him back in Jordan-Hare in 05. Cox's first start. That's how that went.
I don't want to see us play Georgia Tech.
Why not?
I think Brad. I'm looking at Brad. I know you.
Yeah, no, I was reading. I was there. Tell us why not, Brad. You don't like the matchup?
I think it would just be fun, man. It would throw some spice on bowl week. I think that's one thing with bowl week is it's kind of like with the portal opening up and everything, and there's just not a whole lot of sauce and excitement on bowl week. I think if you threw an Auburn and a Georgia Tech, people would get excited about that. They're like, hey, it's Auburn to Atlanta. Put us in Nashville. Both fan bases can travel and pack the stadium out. I think it would be awesome.
I do too. So, Blake, you want to get into this next clip?
Yeah, man. I'll roll it over. Look, another one that I think Hugh Freeze gets it, Dustin, and we'll play it right here, and I'll get your thoughts on it.
I'm absolutely, positively, totally convinced this place can be an elite program. Now, being an elite program in this conference, there's some others too in it. Does that mean you're going to win every single game? Probably not. I don't know if many teams are going to do that anymore, truthfully. But we should be in every game. And this place, the support it has, the energy, the fan base, the culture, the family feel, the administration alignment, everything, the facilities, everything is here for us to build. And I say build, these things don't happen overnight, to build a championship team. And it's here, and we can do it. And I do think it's important that we recruit young men that understand they're going to be blessed by being at Auburn. We have the resources to bless them. But entitlement doesn't come with that, and they need to fit the culture and the standard that should be for everybody, irregardless of how blessed you feel you are.
What'd you feel about that, Dustin?
By blessed, he means paid. That's what he means. I've had some conversations this week with a couple different people, Blake. You know what they told me? Auburn dropping bags. Auburn dropping bags. So if Auburn, with guys like Cam Coleman, it's not about having the biggest bag because anybody will match it, right? But so the offer's going to be the same across the board. Like he's going to pick whatever team ultimately he wants to go with because he can get whatever he wants to get. But the good thing is that Auburn has the ability to say, okay, this is what you want. We have it. And that's how you get a guy like Waller. That's how you get these guys like Perry Thompson. That's the name of the game right now. So that's what he means when he says blessed. And yeah, I mean, we know this, and it's we know that Auburn has everything to win. We've seen us watch us win it in 2010. I watched us get cheated in 04. Watch us get there, in 2013. Like we know that we have it. You've made good points this season about Oklahoma and Texas coming in there. So you've got two more teams joining the league. So you better have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, right? You better be ready to go. And I mean, I was sitting there reading a KJ Lacey article before we got started, and it just seems like we have been in these recruiting battles lately with Texas. This is becoming a thing, and we're just going to have to get used to it. And talk about having bags. We know Texas got bags, right? And it'll be fun to watch them at Texas A&M. I'd be interested to watch a 4 or 5 star coming out of Texas, picking between Texas or Texas A&M in the next couple of years. See how high his NIL deal gets, right? That would be cool. But yeah, we have everything, bro. It's all in place, and it's happening. It's just you have to. The last guy thought that you could just be the coach at Auburn and that Auburn was going to do what it needed to do. And you have to try. Like he took the Auburn sells itself literally. Like I don't have to do anything. The 5 stars are just going to come here. And that's obviously not the way it works, especially when you have what you have with a guy like Kirby Smart and a guy like Nick Saban who are just relentless. And you're going to drown in this league. You're going to drown if you don't recruit at a high level. And with a schedule that Auburn has played historically, if you're not recruiting in the top 10, well, you're going 6-6. And you saw the commitment we got today, right, from the 2025 defensive line. And that's where it's got to start, Blake. It's got to start in the trenches. That's where we got to start building it at. And we've got all the resources to do it. I'm proud of Auburn, Blake, in this sense. When NIL hit, it was a brand new thing that caught a lot of people off guard, right? And I don't think that when it first hit, like Auburn, because we had the initial collective that I don't even remember the name of it, but then On to Victory came in, bought them out, and took over. And that happened relatively quick, and we're still pretty early in the NIL age. And I think that Auburn is ahead of a lot of schools. And I think that we're doing it above the board. I don't think that we're really trying to follow the rules, do it. And there's not a lot of rules right now. But I think that we're trying to do things the right way. So I'm really impressed with the alignment. Like it's like for the first time in 10, 15 years, it seems to me like these guys, that everybody behind the scenes is really locked in and knows what it takes. And I'm just really impressed with the organization and everybody kind of being all headed in one direction, all headed in one goal, understanding it takes talent. You got to have money. Let's play the game, but let's do it the right way. And Blake, as lifelong Auburn fans, everybody's seen Auburn not have their stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very proud of Auburn for being able to handle this NIL thing the way they have. And it came and we were ready. And now we're up here with the big dogs.
I agree. And I think you made a point right there about the last guy and how Hugh talks about this and how Auburn has everything it needs to win at a championship level. And the last guy, I also want to bring this in, is Alan Green is the guy who hired the last guy. All right. And I feel like he gets let off the hook a lot. All right. It was a hot tub conversation. All right. And I'll never understand how it happened. All right. I really won't. Never. We knew it wasn't a fit. We knew it wasn't going to work. He didn't want to recruit. And now you have a guy right here who's telling you, hey, this place can win. And it can win at a championship level. We're gonna conquer the NIL. We're going to get out and bust our tails. We're gonna capture our fan base, and we are going to bring them onto victory. We're gonna give them things behind the scenes. All right, we're gonna give them all access, and all you got to do is pay $17 a month. You get all access. All right, it's that simple. You get all access. You get things from players. You get videos, recaps, interviews from players, all kind of stuff. And it comes from Hugh Freeze having a vision. And he's just a winner, man. He's a winner. Yeah. And you saw it last Saturday. He's a winner. And even though it didn't go the way we wanted to the last 3 or 4 minutes of that game, he said, hey, we're going to shake it off and we're going to be right back. And we're going to bring elite level kids in here who have the same beliefs that we have, who are going to work their tails off in order to get Auburn to a 12-team playoff. Mm. And I think that's all you can ask for, is I know the season didn't end like we wanted it to, but you got to look, you got to look at the bright side, man. You got to look at the bright side. You got Cam Coleman in the palm of your hands, man. Can you flip him? You flipped a couple guys already. You got Bryce Kane, who is early enrolling at Auburn. Like, you have talent coming, man. And I can tell you this: tight end and wide receiver, 2 positions that I'm never worried about with Hugh Freeze at Auburn.
Facts.
Never worried. Like, I think he's going to get elite talent there, no matter what. And just look at how bad. One thing that really stands out to me is look at how bad our offensive line was last year, Dustin. He was only on the job for a couple months, man. And look how much improvement that O-line made.
And patched it up through the portal.
Like, he literally went and got some G5 dudes and said, hey, look, we're going to patch this thing up. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be the best offensive line in Auburn history, but it's going to look better than what it did last season. I can guarantee you that. Man, we got to be positive. We got to lift our heads up. And I know that one Saturday hurt, but we got to shake it off, and we got a bowl game to play. And I like what Hugh said, man. Let the kids enjoy the bowl week. Don't ride them. Don't get after them. Let them enjoy the process, grind in them practices, have fun. And look, as a fan base, don't flip out if we lose the bowl game. Okay? Like, I know it would suck and it would hurt.
2-7 in our last 9.
I know, but the way bowl games are played nowadays, man.
Yeah, it's goofy.
Yeah, it's you got your players opting out and going to the draft and all this stuff. So I just want us to play hard. I want us to play hard, and then let's look ahead to 2024, and let's stop talking about the kick six.
Hey, look, when you talk about when you said Hughes a winner, something that kind of popped into my head there was Dabo Sweeney. Boy, did this NIL stuff not hit him like a ton of bricks.
Yep.
And you talk about what Hughes done with War Eagle Plus and on the victory behind the scenes, trying to get all that together. Shout out to Bruce Pearl, by the way. Shout out to Bruce Pearl because Bruce put his basketball facility on hold. His basketball-only facility on hold. That way that the university as a whole could get onto victory running right. That's an Auburn man. That's an Auburn man if I've ever seen one. So big shout out to Bruce for that. And now with the facility in place, with the NIL in place, yeah, dude, Hugh knows he's got everything. We're sitting our 2025 class is sitting in 5th. It's gonna finish in top 3. I feel pretty like just watch it. Just watch what he's about to do in this 2025 class.
You know what top 5 recruiting classes do, Dustin?
I know what they do if you stack them.
They win national championships.
Unless you're Jimbo.
Yeah. That was a disaster, man. Look, I'm not trying to get off topic right here, but I'm sorry, bro. Texas A&M just ain't the place that I think everybody thinks it is. Like, I had a couple people on Twitter the other day get at me and was like, bro, you're crazy. Texas A&M has everything to win. Yeah, bro, you can have all the money that you want. But Texas and Oklahoma dominates, dog.
Good point.
Like, they're your big bro. And you've never won anything. You never will win anything. Because now they're coming to your conference. They're trailing you. And they're saying, hey, they're knocking on the door. And they're saying, hey, guess what? We're back. All right, we're here. I'm sorry. I just don't think that Texas A&M is what everybody thinks it is. And I think that's Jimbo. I don't know, man. Like, just he never wanted to make a change. He never wanted to upgrade that stale 2010 offense that just wasn't getting it done, man. Yeah. I mean, but that's for another day.
And it seems like he has a problem running programs, right? Like, it seems like behind the scenes, the locker room just doesn't really.
Yeah, like they were smoking weed in the locker room last year before a game.
That is the craziest thing I have ever. On the road, bro. So you put the weed on the plane, went on the road, and was blowing down in the locker room. Yeah, dude. Listen, and Hugh had a mess to clean up, but he's doing a good job. Daniel says, yeah, Daniel says Dabo calls his fan bandwagons. Yeah, because look. Like I just said, that Dabo wasn't quite ready for the NIL, and I disagree with the way that his policy on the portal, and I disagree with his if you're committed to Auburn or committed to Clemson, then you can't go take another OV. Like, I feel him, though. I feel where he's coming from, but, like, you just can't get down like that in today's age, and you're kind of seeing them start to fall behind. But on the point of him calling his fans bandwagon fans, Clemsoning used to be a word.
Yeah.
Like Clemsoning, it meant something. It meant like, hey, you're going to start off 7-0 and then finish 7-5, or you're going to be up 31-0 versus a top 5 Florida State team and lose 30. Like, it meant you were going to mess up. And then he brings natties there, so I can understand why Dabo feels a little salty when all of a sudden he's going 8-4, and the fans are like, you gotta go, bro. This ain't the standard. Because he's like, all right, well, who built the standard? So I feel him on that. Teresa says, try living them out, the Aggies. My daughter chose Auburn because everyone she knew was going to A&M or UT, and I'll live amongst the Aggies, what she meant to say, I believe. My daughter chose Auburn because everyone she knew was going to A&M or to UT, University of Texas, and all the parents we got some errors here, Teresa. And all the parents at Wound here. You have to retry.
Around, I think she was
around. Okay, I got you. Around here. I got you.
I tell you what, I've never been out to College Station, but I hear it's an amazing place, though. I'm not a believer in that football program, but Bobby P. Dustin, Arkansas official, man.
College football is a crazy thing, man. College football is crazy. Like, I thought that was a spoof. Like, I thought that was a skit. Yeah, dude.
Nah.
Hey,
get the Harley out, man. Hey, Arkansas, first game. All right, bring the Harley out. Let Bobby P ride it to the 50 and call in the Hogs, man. Yeah, man. Bobby P back to Arkansas. I mean, it's exciting. Hey, look, I'm not going to be the person, Dustin, that sits here and says, "Hey, forgive Hugh Freeze," and then I'm going to down Bobby Petrino, right?
Yeah.
He deserves another chance, man. Hey, go back to Arkansas and kill it, brother.
But it's weird to me, like, that's just when you were already the head coach somewhere to come back as the OC. That's tough.
I get it. I think maybe he's just an Arkansas guy, man. He's just one of those old country boys. Fayetteville. He loved Fayetteville. He wanted to get back there. Yeah, man, good for him. He deserves it. I hope he kills it unless they're playing Auburn.
Oh no, he's gonna kill it. They'll go 6-6 if everything goes right, and they'll go 7-5 at their very best because that's Arkansas' ceiling.
That's a fact.
I say that he got them to 9-3 one time, so cool beans. P Pass says Starkville, not a bad place to visit. Recommended for the Egg Bowl. Look, I want to talk about this in Mississippi State, and I'm not blaming anybody for being hype or being excited. And I'm not saying they made a bad hire. I'm not. I don't know enough about their hire to determine it one way or the other. But, brother, you would have thought that Urban Meyer or Nick Saban just got hired. They put on a presentation, son. I mean, they had.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Elite play caller.
I understand, but.
I know Mississippi State's going to be a tough place to win, right? We always talk about that. Everybody who watches every single week, an extremely difficult place to win football games. Jeff Lebby will bring a quarterback into Starkville, Mississippi, and that offense will compete. I know he's going to put together a good staff, man. He's a heck of a coach. He's young. There's a lot of promise in that hire. It's just going to be really tough to win games at that program. But as far as Starkville, Egg Bowl, the Junction, dog, that place, incredible, man. Like, yeah, their stadium, like, it isn't nice or anything. Like, it's not like, oh, wow, but the atmosphere for the Egg Bowl, man, if you ever get a chance to go, do it. It is, I mean, it's different, man. It's different.
I want to shout out Anthony Dixon's uncle for getting drunk and telling Cam Newton.
Come on, Cam Newton didn't go there because they were dog shit, not because.
Yeah. It is a funny clip though. It is a funny clip. Dialogue says, "I can't believe Arky is riding with Titman next year."
That picture on the back of the Harley.
Sure, if you ain't seen that picture of Titman riding the Harley or on the back of Petrino's Harley, that's going around social media, man. That's funny right there. This is an A+ comment, brother. I like this.
Yeah, that was
and look, like, if you're Arkansas, what is your standard? Do you understand your place? And I'm not saying that Pittman shouldn't have been fired. If they would have fired him, I would have said, like, I understand it. It's obvious it's not headed in the right direction. But also, my whole thing with that was, like, who are you going to go get that's going to make this thing any better? And I'm not saying just sit there and accept it. If he has another bad year, then okay, clear it out. But, like, if you're Arkansas, I don't think that – what did they finish this year? 4-8, 5-7?
Yeah,
like, you're going to do that if you're Arkansas. That's just the nature of what you are. You're going to do that. Every time you do that, if you just go and fire your coach, then you're going to be firing coaches like every 2 or 3 years. And with Texas and Oklahoma about to come over here, what are you even about to be if it ain't basketball or baseball?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And maybe they have a list. Maybe they have guys that they think can run their program and they're not available yet. Maybe they reached out to a couple people because no one's firing their coach, right, without any kind of idea.
Yeah.
We were calling Lane Kiffin and Hugh Freeze back probably around Missouri time last year. Probably that San Jose State game or maybe halftime of Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, buddy, hold on. What is?
I left.
Yeah, I know you did. you left me to fend for myself. We are Penn State, just raining through my ears. Ugh, tough times. But yeah, if you're looking at some of these programs and the hires they've made, it's hard. It's hard, man. There's not a lot of guys out there. And then you always put up like the dream list, the Dan Lannings and all this kind of stuff. It's hard to go get those guys, man. And look at a guy last year that everybody was the hottest commodity in the world. That shine wore off that prime, didn't it? That shine wore off that prime. All of a sudden, them L's started stacking. Man, them tweet impressions went down. The YouTube likes and the Instagram. What did Dan Lanning tell him?
That Oregon was playing for wins and Colorado was playing for clicks.
No flash, all substance, my guy said.
Yeah, Oregon was rooted in substance.
Woo!
Hey, and a quick thing is like I'm gonna do my little Oregon podcast now that the season's over and let y'all know about the trip that I took and what my brother actually said to Dan Lanning about that. I thought it was hilarious. Dan laughed. And he like shook he shook my brother's hand and everything. But
y'all think Blake wild. Blake's brother's funny, man.
Yeah, man. It's it was a fun time up there. But Jonathan Hubbard, Dustin, I saw that comment. I think it's right here. He said, "Do y'all think we make a change in offensive coordinator?"
Yes. Yes, I do. Not only do I think we make it, I'll tell you what I want. I want it to be a lackey. I want it to be somebody I've never heard of. When I see our new OC's hire, I want to go, who the hell is that? Because I don't ever want to hear from him. His job should be to organize the offense and do whatever in practice. But when it comes to calling plays and what we're actually running, I want to see what we did post Ole Miss. And we will. So to answer your question, Jonathan, yeah, I don't think there's no like animosity here. It's just Hugh tried to give up the play calling. He tried to kind of let somebody else run an offense. And then after the Ole Miss performance, he stepped in, he took over the offense, and then obviously it looked a whole lot different. So no, I do not expect Philip Montgomery to be back next year. And my hope is that, and I do believe that Hugh kind of realized I need to run this thing because if I'm going to get fired, I'm going to go down doing my stuff.
Yeah, I don't know who we go get, but I definitely agree that there will be a change. Look, I keep seeing the DC stuff in the comments, and I just want to say something real quick. All right, about DC. Damian Craig, man, whatever happened, it happened. LeBron left Cleveland, dog, and went to Miami. Sold the city.
Is something trending right now? Because people are putting eyeball emojis with DC.
Yeah, I don't. But look, LeBron sold Cleveland out. All right, city hated him, didn't want him to ever come back. Guess what? He went back, won him a championship. Man, I don't know what happened, whatever, but I don't know. I kind of, I'm a DC guy, man. I want the hate to stop, but I don't know who the OC is going to be. I just don't think it'll be Philip Montgomery. I think that was just I think it was a test, and it didn't work. It failed. And Hugh said, "Hey, look, like you said, Hugh said, I got to take this. All right, this is me. I ain't going down like this." And
a couple people have asked in the comments who DC is. DC is Damian Craig. He was a quarterback for Auburn in the 90s and one of only two Auburn quarterbacks ever to throw for over 3,000 yards and lost to Peyton Manning in the SEC championship game, I think 31-30. And he coached at Auburn. He's coached damn near at every team in the South, really, across the ACC and the SEC. But yeah, that's who Damian Craig is. Ex-Auburn player, wide receiver, quarterback coach. He's one of the best recruiters in the nation. And that's undeniable. But everywhere he goes, he leaves in some controversy. So that's kind of why he's a lightning rod. And that's why you see the passion one way or the other when people are talking about him. Good at what he does, apparently can cause some problems sometimes. But I don't know that. Let's see. Bug Max says, I think Ken Austin will be promoted. What do you think about that? But this one I like. I like this a lot because Hugh's still running the offense, and he knows Kent's strengths. And Kent can do his thing, right?
Yeah, I like promoting from within.
In this scenario, I do.
Yeah. I think I saw, I can't remember who said in the comments, but somebody said promote Caddy. I just don't know if Caddy's ready to run the offense. And absolutely not James.
Yes,
No,
James.
he does not recruit. Put Florida light years behind.
Made jokes about recruiting, actually.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing too, because if you watch Swamp Kings, James, if you watch Swamp Kings, Dan Mullen knew the process and what it took to be great at Florida.
Right.
He was in those he was on those championship teams. He was in those meetings with Urban Meyer, and then he become the head coach, and he didn't want to recruit. Like one of the most talented, richest states in America. And you're in Gainesville, you don't have to go but 2-3 hours south, and you're in a hotbed of talent, and you didn't even try. You didn't try. You were letting Oregon come down to Florida and scoop kids out of your backyard. Ridiculous. Like,
yeah, Florida's one of the universities like Auburn where you just got to try, and you'll pull in a top 12 class at the least.
Yep.
I like this from Brad. Bring in Matt, Luke, and Hugh take over play calling.
Hey, bringing in Matt Luke would be special, man. That would be big. I mean, we want to talk. Come on, man. The interior. Come on. I mean, we would start doing wonders up front. Come on. I mean, we always talk about that, right?
Yeah.
The recruiting, man. I would take that in a heartbeat. Great comment from Brad.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one a lot. And he was seen on at a game this year, right? Mike said, don't know why Auburn fans keep saying we need a new DC. Our defense carried us this year minus the last play. Yeah, I'm all for Ron Roberts getting a raise. And I haven't seen, outside of, Blake, he admitted he was upset. I haven't seen too many people calling for Ron Roberts to go.
Yeah, man, I was just in the heat of the moment. I was just pissed off, honestly. Like,
what would you give Ron Roberts a grade this year?
Dude, with what he had up front and the staff, that people were sitting here contemplating like how well we were going to be on defense with the lack of depth and what he had returning, and we were thin at linebacker. I mean, dude, you got to give him a B plus, like A minus. Like, look, I know the New Mexico State thing, we can knock that down a little bit. And that last play of the Iron Bowl, but you look at every game, and I'm not going to hold LSU against him. I'm not. That's just a freakish. I mean, that offense is freaky, man. But like, you look at every other game, dude, and we were in it. And that is one thing I'll say is I'm sorry if Ron Roberts did see my tweet, I apologize. I was in the heat of the moment. I was pissed off, and I wasn't happy because we rushed 2 people and had a spy on 4th and 31.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I agree with you. And Hugh said in the presser, I almost picked that clip. He said we had 2 options there. Put pressure on them, see what happens, or play the ball. We felt like playing the ball, and we said we didn't keep our eyes on the ball, and so it just sucks, man. Brad says 2 difference makers on the front is all we needed, and then P-Pass follows up and says, "You wonder what if Echo had stayed?" Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, that would have been nice. And then Bug says, hard to do much on defense with hardly any pass rush. We completely agree. And got some grades coming in. A+ from our guy, or A- from our guy P-Pass. Jonathan Hubbard giving him a B+. I'm gonna give Ron Roberts, I'm gonna give him a B+ as well. Because like Blake said, just not having the guys up front. I've made the point a couple of times now after the Iron Bowl. Like, I just kind of really giggled at a true freshman getting hurt and then basically telling him, like, son, you got to be okay. And that was my feeling. Like, when he got hurt, I was like, Keldrick, you have to be okay.
Yep.
Like, we can't afford for you to be hurt. So it is what it is. And so that's just kind of where we're at. And I thought that whether it be Rush and Keontae, he did some stuff with Donovan early in the season before Donovan started battling injuries. I mean, we had a couple games there in the middle before Austin Keys came back where Eugene Asante and Larry Nixon did not come off the field. And that's tough. That's tough. And shout out to our guy, Josh Aldridge, because my God, the linebackers got better, and you got the best out of that room. You got the absolute best out of Eugene Asante, Larry Nixon, and those boys, man. Like,
yeah, Austin Keys.
whew.
Austin Keys made such an improvement from game one.
He's going to be nice next year, Blake.
Yeah, he struggled game one, and I was a little uncertain on Austin Keys, but when he come back from injury, the difference maker that he was, a big shout out to that group, man. Like they played their ass off, and they were one of the most criticized groups going into the season.
Mm-hmm. They were. Our guy Jazzy popping in, Blake. What's up, Jazzy? Jazzy says, "What's up, my homie? What's up, buddy? It's almost that time. This class is going to be special. Do you think we get both Coleman and Williams?" Ooh. I'll let you go first on the Ryan Williams, Mr. Mobile.
Man. No, I do not feel like we get Ryan Williams. I want to say yes. But there's some things that are a little concerning to me. Like he did an interview after the Iron Bowl, and he always says we with Alabama.
I noticed that.
He always says we won the game.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to the SEC championship. My dad and I are going to try to make the SEC championship to watch us next Saturday.
The way Perry talks about us, yeah.
Yes. And that kind of threw me off. I was wanting to get on the hype train. I was wanting him to go to Auburn. And I hope he does. Because he's elite, man. Like he's one of the greatest high school football players I've ever seen. And down here in Mobile, like 251, man, that's a lot because we had Julio Jones, Pat White, like we can keep going on and on and on. And as far as Cam Coleman, I think today might have been the dagger for Cam Coleman at A&M with DC getting let go by Mike Elko. I do not think Cam Coleman stays committed to A&M. I think you could see some action kind of start working here in the next couple of days with him decommitting from there. I know Florida, wasn't it Florida that was trying to make a late push?
Florida State.
Yeah.
And Florida might be getting in there, but I can't imagine. It was Florida State that was always really high on his list. So if Florida has popped in there, then they're not.
Yeah, I know DG was telling me he was talking about Florida, like trying to get down there for a visit or whatever. I don't know if it ever panned out, but I think Cam is going to flip the script. Been a minute since we said that. I think Cam's going to flip the script with Phoenix City kids, and I think he is going to commit and sign with Auburn on National Signing Day. And I think him and Perry are kind of locked in together, man. I think they've been talking, and I think this is going to be a special wide receiver group.
Yeah. So the way that Blake talks about Ryan Williams, about him being the best high school player he's ever seen, Cam Coleman is the best high school player that I've ever seen. Now, we'll see what my arm does. I can't get it wet, and so if it rains Friday, I ain't going to make it up to Saraland versus Pike Road. I really want to get to that game, man. If it stays dry, I'm going to get up there, so I will get to see Ryan Williams, get to see my guy Malik Blockton, who, by the way, 109 tackles on the D-line.
Yeah.
Good God almighty, son. He's got 30 tackles for loss and 14 sacks. I really want to get up to that game and check Ryan Williams and Malik out. And KJ Lacey, we're making a push here for KJ Lacey, the Saraland quarterback that's currently committed to Texas. But I feel that way about Cam Coleman, Jazzy. And I mean, I've told you this in person. I hung out with Jazzy the night after I went and saw Cam Coleman put up 300 yards receiving and 4 tutties on Auburn High. So Jazzy knows how I feel about Cam. And I agree with Blake because, now I will say this, the fake Twitter insiders that are telling you that this has already happened or they're hinting at it type thing because they don't want to, the game. hint at something, and then if it does happen, say, "Oh, you know."
Yeah.
There's literally somebody on Twitter that calls himself Tiger Insider, and I'm just whatever. But yeah, don't believe any of those. I feel pretty comfortable. Had some conversations saying that like Cam, this decision's not final, right? Like he's got meetings to have and some things still to go. And look, he's playing for a state championship, and the kid's one hell of a competitor. So while he's obviously doing his recruitment and all that publicly, I don't expect anything until after Phoenix City holds up that trophy. And make no mistake about it, they're about to hold up that trophy. But yeah, I agree with Blake. I think that Cam Coleman's going to ultimately end up at Auburn because where are you going to go? Like the way the A&M situation is played out with the amount of time left here coming up on December 20th. And I know that I guess he could wait. I don't know if he wants to be, I can't remember if he wants to be an early enrollee or not. I need to look into that, but you're running out of time here. And it's getting to that point to where it's like, brother, nobody wants you more than we do. And like we talked about with our guy, Phillip Dukes, come home, dog. Be the guy. If Perry Thompson comes in and has 1,000 yards receiving, then obviously we're gonna love him and all that. But like being the guy, one, like you said, flipping the script from the Phoenix City curse, that would mean a lot. And just being like you're from the town, like you're from 30 minutes up the street, bro. Like to come in and do it, it would just hit different, right? You talked about LeBron earlier, like him winning that title in Cleveland. That one is the one that I bet he's going to take to his grave. That one is the one that hits the most, man. Putting on for your city just means something different. And I think that Cam Coleman ultimately, I don't see like of all the options on the table, that one seems like the best one to me. And then Jazzy pops back in it. We appreciate you, big dog. Jazzy with another $20 super chat says also McLeod and Waller. Are you kidding me? QB hospital. Jazzy, Joe Phillips and Waller. Joe Phillips and Waller. And then you can do different things with TJ Lindsey. You can do different things with Malik Blockton. A lot of people are overlooking Nichols, the defensive tackle that we've signed down there in South Florida because he's a 3-star nose tackle, but like he's got a job to do, right?
Yeah.
He's not, he comes out after the game and he's got 3 tackles and it doesn't make any news, but you turn on the film and he's doing his job. And then look at the guys that are at the next level behind this D-line, Jazzy. Look at those guys. Because Ron Roberts is going to use an athlete, Demarcus Reddick, to rush the passer. He's going to figure out a way, if he can rush the passer with Eugene Asante. You seen DJ Barber play? Whew. That kid's a torpedo, bro. He reminds me of Trey Blackman with his head on straight. That kid's a beast.
Them and Saraland's going to be fun to watch in the state championship.
Yes, it is. Dude.
Clay and Saraland's going to be fun, man. That'll be a good one.
That'd be a blast. I wish it wasn't in Tuscaloosa this year. If it was in Auburn, that's one of them I'm going up there type things. But I'll stay away from Tuscaloosa. But Jazzy, we do appreciate you, brother. And yes, man, like you can now find a way to have. You're gonna have Joe Phillips. You're gonna have Waller, and you're gonna have Reddick. Like these names, bro. This is it's gonna be special. And we talked about what Ron Roberts did with what he had. Man, once because Waller, like Ron Roberts is not a big recruiter, and it's not his job. Like he's not being asked to recruit heavily for us. And he was all in on Waller. He recruited Waller really, really hard. And that meant a lot to Waller because he knows, right, that like he talks to the other recruits and it's like, oh, well, I'm the only one he's calling like that. Ron Roberts really wanted Waller, and they really wanted TJ Lindsey. They really wanted TJ Lindsey more than they wanted a lot of guys. They wanted TJ Lindsey. Mm-hmm. So, and I think it makes me feel pretty good that they circle people and they go get them. But yeah, bro, this is that pass rush in the future. That thing gonna be deadly. Jazzy says, bro, I'm hyped. I'm hyped too, man. We got no choice, dude. We got no choice. You can do one of two things after losing a game like you did Saturday. You can do what the Bama fans do, which is watch us talk about it for an hour and then try to troll us like we didn't give your team full credit and understand. You can sit there and you can complain, bro. You can sit there and whine and moan, and you can say, I saw some people out there this week on Twitter talking about, and other social media apps as well. I told y'all about Hugh Freeze and all this kind of stuff. You didn't tell anybody anything, man. You didn't tell anybody anything. We improved. We went 5-7 last year. Didn't make a bowl game. could finish 7-6 this year, make a bowl game. When he took over last year, we were 58th in recruiting. He finished it out with a top 15 class. We're going to finish this year with a top 10 class. So, yeah, man, there's a whole bunch of reasons to be hyped. And you could just – Saturday was the biggest gut punch. Me and you talked about it, Blake. We felt like since the FSU loss in the national championship in the Rose Bowl. But I got no choice to put on my Auburn stuff the very next day, say War Damn Eagle, and put on for the squad. So you know what it is. Let's see. I like this. The retired veteran, Pensacola, Florida. I think commitment decisions will depend on if Auburn picks up one of these QBs that have already run to the portal. What do you think about this, Blake? And shout out to you. We appreciate your service, sir. And Pensacola, Florida, I see you, baby.
I love that. P-Cola, baby, the panhandle. Yeah, look, we're getting a quarterback. I saw a couple other people forget who said it or who asked. We're getting a quarterback out of the portal. I'm high on Riley Leonard from Duke. The injury concerns me a little bit, but I think he'll be all right. That's what surgery's for, right?
Is he? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is he? How is his feet? I've only watched him a couple times, but can he do the run part of the RPO well enough?
Absolutely. Dude can move. I mean, he's big, but he can move.
Big.
Yeah, he can move, man, and he's not as accurate as you would like, but dude's a gamer, man. He's got that moxie, and Cam Ward. Excuse me. Man, I don't know how I've made it an hour.
I don't either. I don't know how I made it. That Percocet kicked in.
Look, Cam Ward, if this does happen and go down, I know he flirted with Auburn a little bit. An elite guy at the QB position. I just think he plays on a really bad team. I watched some of the Apple Cup from this past Saturday. We had 2 TVs at my parents' house set up, and Cam Ward was throwing absolute Dippin' Dots, and his receivers were just, no showing. Like,
that sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar, but hopefully that's changing. So, I think we're gonna get a QB, and yeah, I think Cam Coleman does want to see if a quarterback comes into Auburn. And look, I'm not totally lost on Peyton Thorne either.
Right. He's going to have competition.
Yeah, I think we need a competition. That's one thing I want our fan base to get behind Peyton, man. I said the other night after the Iron Bowl, I said, hey, buddy, you battled. You battled. I can't say anything else, but you battled in a game where you didn't have a clue what was about to happen when you walked out on that field. You didn't understand the Iron Bowl. Yeah. You had to have somebody tell you in that locker room what you were about to walk into.
Good point.
And you responded. And first comment I get, bro, he was 5 of 16, STFU. Go back and rewatch the tape, brother. Go back and rewatch the tape. He had about 6 drop balls. All right. Go back and rewatch the tape.
What's that adjusted completion percentage?
Yeah, he didn't play the best, but he battled. All right. So I think we need to bring a competition in, bring another guy in, and let's battle it out. Robbie will move on. All right. He will graduate, and I think he will hit the portal. Look, love Robbie. Thankful for what he did for us these last 2 years, and we appreciate him. But yeah, quarterback is a position that we need to look at. And I think Q's going to hammer the portal again. I think he's going to hammer it. He's going to look at DB. He's going to look at, D-line. He's going to hammer all areas that need to be got. Wide receiver, I think you're going to see Auburn go after a wide receiver or two. I just think he's that guy, man. He's that guy that's never satisfied. So,
yeah. We're about to wrap it up, guys. Get your last comments in here. If you have not, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll say this about PT. I would like to see him in with a full off season, with an A-day running Hugh Freeze's offense. Because he looked I won't say night and day, but he looked a whole lot better after that Ole Miss game, running the up-tempo, fast-paced Hugh Freeze RPO. So I wouldn't mind seeing Peyton in a whole, a whole off season to get ready for that, and then a whole actual season of running that offense. But I will not be thrilled if he's just the incumbent and there's no competition, because I think that he's got enough film out there to where you kind of know what he is, right? Like there's some highs, there's some lows. I don't want to use the word mid. I would say like slightly above average type thing. That can have it. Right. It can have a good day, but can have a bad day. So if there's upgrades out there, for sure, then go grab them. But like I think we've learned in the portal that everything is not just an immediate upgrade. Mm-hmm. And so I would like to see Thorne come back. I would like to see him have a shot. But yeah, Hugh's going to. And look, this is not even about Hugh, in my opinion, Blake. I just think that in today's age in college football, where we stand right now, I think that every major program is going to be getting portal quarterbacks every offseason. I just think that's the way it's going to happen. You're just going to be playing musical quarterbacks. There's going to be a guy with a relationship here that knew this guy, or we were recruiting this guy, and now this staffer's over here, but now he's the OC. It's just so much stuff like that that's going to go on here. So as long as these portal rules are what they are, and Hugh talked about it in the press conference, the press conference Monday, about guys not wanting to stay in the system and develop, especially at a position like quarterback. Like, look, I believe that Holden's going to move on. I'm not saying that Holden's not going to move on, but the point I'm making here is Holden moves on, right? Where does he go? Where does he go where he's an automatic starter? He's never started a game. He's thrown the ball a grand total of 15 times. He doesn't have any, and I'm just kind of guessing there, but that's not the exact number. Don't quote me. But like he doesn't have any film outside of practice and A-Day in high school, right? So what, the Missouri game last year and the A&M game this year? So, and then handing it off in one other game. Like there's nothing there. So if he goes to another quarterback battle, he's still in a battle.
Yeah.
Now, if he just feels like I don't have a chance in this offense, I don't have a chance here, that's one thing. But a lot of these guys, man, I would just, I would encourage them to maybe hang out for a season. And I understand everybody's, situation's different and all that, but you ain't got to go just because it looks like it's time to go, man. You're still going to go get in it back. Like there's a few of these guys in the portal that I'm going over here and I'm the starter. It doesn't necessarily happen that way, right? Like now you're going to have your Jalen McLeods where it's like, yes, we go get that guy. And when he's healthy, he's going to start on the edge for us. Like there's that kind of situation. But there's also your Shane Hooks and your Jair Shorters, where you go get a guy that played at Jackson State and had 800 yards and 10 touchdowns, and you're going, okay, that's nice. Let's see if it can translate. Obviously, it didn't. So the portal's not just like recruiting. It's not an exact science, right? For me, it's really just about finding guys that want to be at Auburn, understand the assignment. A guy like Gunnar Britton, like Gunnar Britton, he only had 1 year, and it's not a 6-6 season. He's not going to go down in Auburn lore or anything. But we needed offensive linemen, and he stepped up and played well this year.
Yeah, he did.
And he patched a hole for us. So, and I hate this because I do not have any patience, but this is a process where we're just going to have to be patient because you win games in the SEC at the line of scrimmage. And if you don't recruit the way you need to recruit at the line of scrimmage for 4 to 5 seasons, then it's going to take you more than 1 or 2 to build it back. Because just when DeAndre Carter going to be a beast, but he's probably not going to be a beast next year.
Yep.
Right. So it just takes time. So that's just kind of where we stand on all that. But with the quarterback, with the portal and everything, I just think, Blake, that in this day and age, and you're always bringing it. We might not bring in a running back, right? Because there's no need. But like at a position like quarterback, I think that there's always going to be musical chairs. I think in positions like defensive line, offensive line, DB, where you can never have enough, you're just always, even if you have a good cornerback, right? Even if you have a good shutdown corner, well, you can use another one. So I think in this day and age, man, you're just going to go, if you can just go get guys that you think can help you win in the portal, you'll do it. I mean, what did Lane Kiffin? You talked about it in the middle of the season. What did Lane do at quarterback this year? Now, Spencer Sanders didn't play a damn lick, did he?
Nope.
But it sure did a lot of fire under Jackson Dart's ass.
That's a fact. That's it, brother. That is that's what we're gonna do, man. We're going to the portal. We're gonna hit it hard. Hugh's that guy. Man, what a show tonight, Dustin. What a
Yes,
show,
sir.
man.
We have a nice crowd in here. Appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
Connor Lou might be the best alum out of high school we got since the 3 when Zimba got to AU. Yeah, dog. Blake, I missed on some stuff. in the preseason making our predictions. We all did. But my Robert Williard getting 70 tackles did not pan out. But I feel good about what I said Keldrick Fault and Connor Lou were going to do, baby.
Hey, they were bold predictions, man. I said Caleb Burton was going to get 30 grabs.
Right.
You know, he could have like if we had known, you know, like damn, you take him off the field. I've never seen that, bro. A guy comes in and gets you runs you a little shallow crosser and picks you up a 15-yard gain and then you don't throw it to him the rest of the game. I don't know.
After praising him in the press conferences all week.
Yeah, I didn't get that. Great. But Caleb's a dog, man, and I'm glad he did get on the field. But
yeah, and next year you're gonna see that kid pop. Perry Unlikely says salute and keep it up. Remember last year, if Timon and Puma entered the portal, fans would have been hype. Auburn is in a great place. Yeah. Hey man, we appreciate the $4.99 super chat. We just appreciate you watching, man. It means the world to us. And yeah, it is funny to watch, right? How every time a guy hits the portal at a position we need, we gotta go get him. It's like a inside offensive lineman from Michigan State. And I'm just sitting here looking, and I'm like, hey, you ain't watched a lick of this kid. Talking about we need to go get him.
He's him. Yeah.
Are you talking about that one in particular, though? Oh, yeah.
This like every coach is like, he's him. I'm like, oh, you ain't watched one Michigan State game.
Right. Hey, North Dakota State.
Yeah.
North Dakota State offensive lineman enters the portal. I'm telling y'all, bro. But hey, our guy Cameron said he actually knows about that's South Dakota or whatever. He said he can actually play. But yeah, man, look, good show tonight. I appreciate everybody. Like button, subscribe button, and we will see you guys Friday at 10 a.m., man. War Damn Eagle, we love all y'all.
War Damn, baby.